So, do you remember your dreams? I would have to say most of my dreams I don't really remember, but the ones that I do some of them are pretty incredible. And I've been fascinated with this my whole life. When I was a teenager, you remember what it was like being a teenager, right? I was a miserable, typical teenager. I slept a lot. I was not happy, wanted more out of my life, and wanted to escape reality, so I slept a lot, as a lot of teenagers do. And I don't know where I got the idea, but I liked dreaming so much. It was such an escape for me that I started trying to control my dreams. I didn't even know there was a name for it. I think it's called lucid dreaming. Have you ever done that? Because it's pretty wild. And well, I've had varying degrees of success. I got to a point where a lot of the times I would realize I'm dreaming, and once you realize you're dreaming, you can start trying to control what you think about and influence what you dream about. But it's not really that simple, because whenever I would try to control what I was dreaming about, the dream became very unrealistic. It's like being in a movie and then all of a sudden you're in a cartoon. Not exactly, but that's kind of the difference. It's such a major difference. It's just so unrealistic. I have had some dreams where I did control some of it and it was still kind of realistic, but I didn't have a whole lot of success with them. But it was always fun to try. Now, I have researched some of the dreams that I've had, because some of them are pretty darn wild. And if you're a Stephen King fan, I found this pretty interesting, that he gets a lot of his ideas for his scary stories from the dreams he has. Now, I have had some terrifying dreams, but that man has to, wow, he takes the cake. But I have looked up some of the dreams I've had, and there's a lot of theories out there. And there are a lot of dreams that are common among people, like dreaming about snakes, which is, oh my gosh, one of my worst nightmares, and spiders. Dreams about water. Dreams about being naked in public. Oh, you're talking about a humiliating and frustrating dream. Wow, that's a frustrating one. Your teeth falling out is kind of common, which I thought was kind of odd, because that is a very terrifying and frustrating dream too. I couldn't believe that it was one of the common dreams. And I've had some really wild dreams that I don't know of anybody that's had. One of my most frustrating dreams, you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this. I have dreamed that one of my legs is longer than the other. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But can you imagine how frustrating that would be? Like, I would take a step forward with my right leg and I'd go way up in the air and then come back down. And it sounds ridiculous, but it was horrible. Some people say that dreams are our mind kind of rebooting like a computer and getting rid of all the old data to make room for the files for the next day. Kind of a clearing out process. And then there are people that say dreams are kind of a way to interpret what's going on with you emotionally. It's your subconscious trying to communicate with you, and your dreams actually have meaning. Some people think that your dreams are meaningless, that they're just a mumbo jumbo of just irrational and irrelevant thoughts. What do you think? Well, I personally think there's more to it than just a bunch of irrelevant stuff going on. And I'm going to share with you a dream that I had not too long ago, which I think has a profound meaning, especially in today's society. I was walking through a field, and every time I would take a step forward, I would get it further and further into the mud. It started just getting really muddy, and the mud started getting deeper and deeper, and pretty soon it was up to almost to the top of my shoe, almost to the top of my foot, I guess is the best way to say it. Then all of a sudden I took a step forward and I just went down into the mud all of a sudden, and I just went back as quick as I could, and because I knew that the ground behind me wasn't like quicksand. I felt like I was sinking into quicksand, so I flew backwards with my arms, put my arms behind me, and I just started pulling myself back out of the mud. And I think my dream was interrupted, and I woke up and I started dreaming again, and I was back in the field. But this time I'm walking towards my house, and there's a lot of commotion going on, and I hear people up and down the street yelling, and there's all kinds of chaos, and people getting in their cars and throwing stuff in their SUVs and packing and leaving, and then someone's yelling at me, "You have to leave, they're evacuating, everybody has to go." I'm thinking, yeah, right, the only place I'm going is home. I don't know what's going on. I'm hard-headed anyway. So I go back into my house, I shut the door, and I started to hear this rumbling noise. So I walk back over to the door and I open it, and coming straight towards me was this wall of mud, almost as tall as my house. I shut the door and I turn around and I walk back over to the other side of the room where my iPad was. I know I'm about to die. I don't know why, but the mud didn't knock the house down. It surrounded it, it enveloped it, and all of a sudden I was in blackness. No light anywhere except for the light coming from my iPad. I get on Facebook to try to distract me from the fact that I'm about to die. Wow. I wake up and I'm thinking, there's something wrong with this. In the moment I should be praying to God for my soul, I'm on Facebook. Girl, you need to get your life straight. So what do you think? Pretty heavy, huh? Well, I guess that's my signal that I need to wrap this up. I want to talk more about this with you guys. Comment below, what is your worst nightmare? What is the scariest dream you've had? Is it spiders? Is it snakes? Is it drowning? What is it? I want to hear from you. Until next time, stay safe out there.